Hey, this was brought to my attention earlier today. I was going to do some Assault Spy or Orochi content, but I decided that this was more important. This is an online survey for Warriors Orochi 4. Now, there is one for the North American and European branches, so I guess you should use the one that's, corresponding to wherever you live. As far as I know, they're basically identical. Now, this is a pretty generic survey. There's not really a whole lot here that you haven't done before if you've ever done like a focus group or a survey for a game or site or anything. You have your gender, age, country, which version did you get, what influenced you to purchase the game, and then a bunch of other stuff here. Nothing we haven't seen before. I wanted to draw attention to the final thing here. This is basically, for any other comments, please fill in below when you have 3,000 characters. Now, what people should be putting here is like very constructive feedback on what is wrong with the game and what they'd like to be fixed. Obviously, the biggest consensus with Warriors Orochi 4 in general is that the gameplay is great. There are some things of it that feel a little odd, but it's mostly the balancing and the low replay value that really holds the game back. And we need to be able to tell them that in a way that they can actually, tally it and see that, hey, there's 5,000 people here that bought the game and they don't like how they're bored of it already after 20 hours. That's the kind of thing we need to relay to them. If you remember, they did a very similar thing with Dynasty Warriors 9. I think they actually did it a little sooner than they did for this game. The game's been out for roughly a month now, and they're just barely getting around to it today. One of the things a lot of people, at least in my circles, we all suggested pretty much the same things. There needed to be more of an end game. There needed to be something, worthwhile to grind for, kind of post-game thing, and kind of improve the gameplay and stuff. And most of that was actually listened to. If you look back, we got things like the Lord Gem system, which is definitely not perfect. I mean, it is very RNG heavy. It's like basically impossible. Even if you have cheat engine and you just make like hundreds of gems without any resources, it takes forever to find something that's like actually optimal. If you're trying to do like maximization in that game, good luck. But still, despite that, I think it was something to grind for, and it definitely added a bit more of an incentive to play as the other characters. Obviously the cloning and stuff and the open world and things kind of deterred people from wanting to do that, but it helped. It was kind of a band-aid on an issue that can't really be fixed without like completely redesigning the game. But despite that, there were people who asked, including myself, that asked about the accessories and stuff, wanted more game-changing accessories and loot and things like that, and pretty much all that was listened to. Like, we got the arena, which had all those cool accessories. There were some really nice ones in there, like the ones that lowered the charge, trigger attack, charge time, and the ones that made you dash faster and things like that. So I want you guys, if you have bought the game and finished it, I want you guys to go here and fill this out. I'll definitely be filling mine out later today or tomorrow too. I think it's probably the best thing that we can do right now. They do seem to be listening to complaints for the most part. I mean, a lot of things are going to take longer to fix than we'd like. Making an endgame mode on par with gauntlet mode and stuff like that is going to take longer. However, the challenge mode looks like it was made in an hour. So I would like them to take their time and actually address the issues. Obviously, it took a couple months for Dynasty Warriors 9 to get those things I just mentioned about a minute ago. So I assume the same thing will happen here. I think the patch that they dropped just a week or two ago with the slight balance changes and the new Sacred Treasures for the Gods characters actually was a step in the right direction. They need to continue along that direction and kind of increase the replay value. So the rest of this stuff doesn't really matter that much. I mean, honestly, I'd probably put... Actually, they don't even have a... Yeah, here it is. For the music, I'd probably put average. I think the Optic Line remix is terrible. I wish they would just let me pay $1 to get the old one back. But I don't think a whole lot of this stuff really matters. I mean, you have things like the graphics here. The game is like 95% recycled assets. Like, how much can that possibly be changed? I think what's really important here is... let them know how many games you played. Maybe that will add more weight to our comments and stuff. Obviously, I've played like almost all of these games in some capacity, so maybe just write about the replay value, the balancing issues with the Dynasty Warriors characters and stuff like that. I think that will definitely go a long way. So I will post a link to this in the description. I wanted to do some other stuff today, maybe some Orochi content and stuff, but I think this is actually important for the longevity of this game. I think it's it does offer quite a bit for $60, but at the same time, you run through it really quickly, and the current gameplay hooks the game has for the post game are very lacking, and I think that's something that they need to address sooner than later. So go ahead and fill this out, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.